Hello and welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're all doing okay. We're not really going to spend too much time poking around gameplay today. Welcome back to Million on Mars. We already trained up all of our Martisans to level 50, so we don't have too much to showcase or talk about here. We were shooting for that 50 electrical across the board. Hello, Winnie, Frederick, Paul, Magic Mike, Distant. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's doing okay. We are also joined today by Cricket. Cricket has decided to hang out and be nearby. Hey! Yep, very cute. So yeah, not too much to do over on our settlement here today. We're mostly going to be exploring the game design editor. We were just going to poke around and look at a couple things, maybe reset a task or two. And we will be coming back here to probably like open some loot boxes or something near the end of the stream. We'll see what we end up doing. Hello, welcome, welcome. ML Villa. We got some daily things to do some jobs, do some rations. Claim some signets. And then we're going to hop over here to the game design editor. We could probably leave most of that, eat a little bit of food, what have you. But we're, yeah, setting most of this aside as we have caught up on most of the tasks. We're still smelting a bit of silicon to get our mining level up. And we're still slowly raising the scavenging level of one of our Martisans because it's funny. And it's difficult to get Martisans trained up in scavenging, so we're still working over on that. Hello, Reen! Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you. I think we were doing waste scrap collection? I think it's scrap collection for... No, we were out of metal bits. Out of bamboo. Maybe Baiju? Sure. So we have the one Martisan there that you saw that we are working on getting their scavenging up to 50. Scavenging for what? Nothing in particular. It's just really hard to train Martisans in scavenging because they can't scavenge, but they can get small amounts of scavenging experience from cantinas. So they're a bit of a novelty item to find Martisans with any kind of scavenging levels on them. So we're doing it for the novelty. Somewhat of a collectible, I guess. XORS, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you. So we threw all those scavenging tasks in there. We'll probably just train up a scavenging level or two on that Martisan. And then we'll pull up the GDE. So just a rough outline of what we're looking at today in the GDE. Oh, I guess we can't search by scavenging. But we'll get you in here and train up scavenging a little bit. Yeah, some making apprentice scavenging tools does require 25 scavenging, so there is at least a purpose in getting that. For uranium mines, scavenging might be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but the idea is that Martisans wouldn't be able to do any scavenging. Like, they're not supposed to have scavenging levels, so kind of an interesting aside. Yeah, maybe they won't even let them in the mines, who knows? But a fun little side project that we're working on. We, of course, are rocking everything. We got our Vibe Pirate shirt today. Rocking our Grind and Brew mugs. Great stuff. So we will also... So in the GDE today, we're going to look at a couple of basics. We're going to look at how to create a new item as our first thing. Then we're going to look at how to set up a recipe that would create that item using some templates that we have saved in the channel for all the people who are working in the GDE. And then if we have some time after that, we might look at setting up somewhere else where we could use it as well. It could be a way to save stamina. Sure, yeah. If you level up your Martisan, have them save your stamina, or use your Martisan instead of your own stamina. Yeah, absolutely. We've got Cricket over there. She looks a little bit upset with us right now. But she is, I think she might hang out with us for the whole stream here. She's pretty chill today. Usually she'll just evacuate the room while we're streaming because she's not a big fan of hearing me talk constantly. Okay, we'll launch one more scavenging level, then we'll head over. And how many people in chat have opened the GDE? How many have access and are playing around in there and checking out what's going on? If you're not, or if you're tuning in over on YouTube and checking this out later on, we're happy to have you here, and we'll walk you through. Where'd it go? We'll walk you through everything we can, kind of show people some tips and tricks. Not yet, too busy working. Fair enough. All right, we will make our way over here. Hello, Koopy Bread. Welcome, welcome. So, we are looking at the GDE. Hello, J30. The cat is watching. Yep, the cat wants to make sure that we do everything correctly. She's just hanging out over there. I don't mind putting her up there as long as she's not in the way of anything that we're talking about. She's looking at like a Sharpie that's on the desk here. Yep. Alright. So, first thing we're doing is creating a brand new item. So, if you haven't seen before, this is the game data editor. We just come in here to game data on whatever environment on the sandbox that people are working on. First thing for us to create a new item, we're going to make sure we're in the right category. We have all these different things going on, so we're going to go to items. Going to hit new. We're going to create a brand new item, brand new resource for the... let's do one of those. There we go. So brand new item, and we're going to call it potable water. So basically making drinking water. So potable water. And we need to put in an image. So we could pull any number of different images. So this one's going to be a little bit tougher for people who are just getting started to track down. So connect with some of the other people in the GDE. So you can find the right link to use an image. Usually we'll just have people use a default, like, you know, we have like the metaglyph symbol in there somewhere. You could use the metaglyph symbol as a placeholder until you can find a piece of art. So we got our drinking water image for our potable water. We don't have any loot table that goes with us, and we need a couple different keywords here. We're actually going to use the resource keyword first, because it is a resource. We want people to collect it. We want it to sit in people's inventories, all that stuff. And we also want to include market as our other keyword, because we want people to be able to sell it and exchange it and all that. We don't have a dusk price right now, but we could put in a rough price of what we think it's worth, and what when it's being used in recipe calculations, we can include something here so that it knows how much to value it, so we can roughly look at like how things pay out and what they're worth. So that's it. That's all it takes to put a new item in. So we hit save, and then our new potable water exists. It's in the game, it's there, it's ready to go. Every time you save something new to the GDE, it does take a little bit for it to figure out where to put it and what to do. But there you go. We also have this little activity log off on the left-hand side, where we can see that we created a new thing, shows up in the list, says who made it. There we go. The next thing to do, so creating an item, pretty straightforward, not too bad. But now we need to create recipes in order to have this item actually be crafted somewhere in the game, right? So obviously we're going to have this made in the water filter. So we're going to head on over to... Oh, I should also open this with, like, this is not something that is for sure ending up in the game, or this isn't, like, something that's, like, being worked on with the intention of implementing. This is just me walking through an example of how we would add something and how we would do all of this. Hello, Pneumatic. Welcome, welcome. At the end of this, I might just scrap all of these. Potable water is drinking water. This is water that's been filtered. So one of the first things we're going to do is go find water. So the item itself, like water, the one that sits in everybody's inventory. Yes, so we can see we also could use the popular tag if we wanted to. Yeah, Distant, you have the rough idea. So basically, anyone who wants to join that game developer engine channel and wants to work on creating stuff and come learn how to do exactly what we're showcasing here, anybody could make stuff, right? Whether or not it ends up in the game, it'll require developer review, and people will make sure... Oh, no, it's a real word. Yeah. You thought I was trying to say portable? No. Potable. Potable water is drinking water. Alright. So one of the first things we want to do is go figure out what the building category is for a water filter. So if we go into recipes, we can see all these recipes. So what all of these are indicating is this is the filter water 1 task, and one of those recipes exists for each rarity of building. And there's going to be 39 rarities of building. Oh, we lost the cat. Goodbye, cricket. So what we're going to do is head over to a template and work on this. Hey, James. Welcome. So we're going to take this water filter category. This is how we decide what building each recipe is going to end up in. So this is specifically filter water 1 recipe in the uncommon level 6 water filter. Is exactly what all of this recipe is indicating. Yeah, now we can mess things up while the cat's not looking. So, we found our water filter. Perfect. So what we're going to do is head over to a template. So these templates are available for anybody. If you need assistance finding them and knowing what you're doing, this is really what hanging out in the channel and asking questions is for. But we're going to call this our potable water planning sheet. And I'll usually name most of my spreadsheets with my GCS at the front. So I don't need the how to use this sheet. I already know how to use the sheet. I don't need a checklist, but I will start my own. So have we made the item? Potable water. Have we made recipes to create potable water? So this is done. Next thing is our recipes. There's going to be at least 39, but could be more. So the next thing we'll look at will be this recipes tab. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here, but we're going to start a little... Cricket! What are you doing? Alright. Cool. Yeah, no, it's fine. Just lay down. Alright. She's decided to send pens and pencils from our storage flying all over the room. Okay, it's fine. It's alright. She spooked herself. Alright, so coming back over here. We need a couple things. We need this water filter category. So we're going to go to this building category where we say water filter. For anyone who's never worked in Sheets before, we are going to do an equals sign. We're going to do some quotation marks. This says to make sure that this is in text form. We're going like super back to basics, so anyone watching this who's never even used Sheets or never even used the GDE, we can do both in tandem and we can figure everything out together. So we put our stuff in quotation marks. We do an ampersand afterwards, which will append stuff and put our text together. And we'll make our way over the end, and we'll grab this cell, and we'll grab the other cell. And that'll give us our building category there. So water filter common 1. We can paste that all the way down here, and that'll give us our water filter for all the different levels, which is why we need the 39 different recipes, 1 per level of building that exists. So we're putting those in the water filter buildings. So heading back over here, we're going to do basically the same thing, where we adjust our recipe name to be, filter potable water. Hello, Thurs, welcome. Callie Nick, Navigator, hello. Sorry if I missed you, Oscar, a couple other people, welcome in. Hope everyone's doing okay today. So we'll copy that all the way down. We get filtering potable water in all of our different things. We change our recipe name to filter, we'll change the very top, filter potable water. So that's our recipe name across the board. If we're planning on making multiple recipes, we want to include that 1 on the end, and we'll make a couple different ones. And if we're gonna do that, we could, put our 1 in here, and paste that all the way down. I think we'll just showcase a basic one for now. We could balance it with a couple different ones if we have time. But an hour is a pretty short amount of time to showcase all of this, but I think that we can get the item made, get the recipes in there, and show that we can put it in a building and have it ready to go. So we'll see if we get that far. So this is filter water into drinking water. Our image, that's where we're going to go back there and find, where did we stick it? Over here in this potable water. So we can go back to that item. We can go find our image from here. And then we can stick it back in the right place. I guess we could pull it off of this spreadsheet as well, but this isn't publicly accessible. That's mostly going to be asking the people who are working in that channel to help you out and get you a link that you're looking for. We'll change our button text to say filter. Our picture ID is going to load that. Our water filter is all set okay. And we're going to look at some of our durations. We want all of these to match all the way down. So this lets us hire the skill, or hire the task, job the task out on the market, I think is the correct language. So we'll have a look at how long some of those filtering water tasks take. I believe if I hop back over to here and we go have a look at our basic filter waters, we've got 4 hours and 4 hours, and this is at like a max level water filter. So what we might do is come in here. So all of our times are going to be in seconds. 3.33 hours for water 2. Hello, Paul! I enjoy everyone's cat emotes. Those are fantastic. So if we're doing 4 hours and it's 3,600 seconds in an hour, then 4-hour tasks at max level are going to be this much time. And let's say we're gonna have, I don't know, like 8 hours at the slowest level. So we're just gonna be double that, right? And then we're gonna try and split the difference for everything in between. So 28800, so we're saying it's taking... That feels like not enough zeros. Yeah, okay, wait, this is all the in-between. There we go, okay. So... yeah, this just has the comma, that's what's throwing me off. Okay. So then we split the difference between the two of them. And we're gonna split that by the, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, like 6 bunch of categories in between. And we're gonna just start adding it on. This will basically just give us sort of a scale as we go. So that we can scale up the time on our tasks. Whoops. There we go. We'll get rid of basically all the stuff down here. And 26400. And then we have this all the way across the top. There we go. And then, so basically we start at 8 hours and we get a little bit faster as we level up our water filters. And what we can do is, we know the next one, uncommon, is going to have 8 different levels here. So we're going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we start off a little bit faster for our rare water filters. And we start off even faster for our epic, legendary, and mythic. 1, 2, 3 always implies that it has tiering. How about filter small, medium, large? Yeah, of course, we could dig into it if we have time here. We might only have enough time to get this one recipe finished, but yeah, absolutely. We could start naming these different things. They don't have to be 1, 2, 3. And we'll show how these are easy to adjust when we need to. We'll hide some of these other tabs because we are not making buildings today, so we don't need to dismantle buildings, or we don't need to look at all this, so we don't need building items. We're doing a pretty straightforward checklist of creating potable water. Okay, so we've gotten this far over on our sheet, right? We've given duration to all these different tasks in all our different rarities. Our keyword is going to be here. So we're actually going to give this the cooking keyword. So this is what skill is used in order to do this thing. How many levels required for generating Gen 3? How much level required for Gen 3 water filter? You mean to craft one? We'd have to go and we'd need to go find it. Yeah, super mega ultra water pack. So it's just going to be a bit of an aside from what we're doing right now. Haya. But I'm sure someone can link you to the wiki and they can give you a hand there. So our output here is going to be potable water. So this is going to be the loot table that we're creating. So that just goes in our output column. And we're going to have to go make this loot table ourselves in just a minute. We make our way over to recipient. So our recipient basically says if we're asking somebody else on the market to do the job, that worker is going to get the XP for doing it, and the player is going to get everything else. If the player is doing the task themselves, they will also get the XP. So the player is the worker if there's no worker on the job. Then we dig into here. So what we could do as well is say you don't even unlock the task unless you're at these levels. So view, freeze, 2 columns so we can see what we're working on. So let's say the task isn't even available until we hit at least this C4, like the spot where we hit 26400. So what that might look like for the common water filter is 5 and 3 on the uncommon. So we make our way over here. We say at common, it's not available until building level 5. And uncommon, it's not available till building level 3. And then we don't need building level requirements on any of the rare or mythic. It's just going to be available right away. So yeah, it takes a few levels to unlock this in those lower level buildings. We can also say it requires a skill level, say a cooking skill level. Because cooking's not here yet and we don't want to break anything, let's just stick to life science for now. But ideally we'd make this cooking, I think. So let's change this to life science just for now. Thank you, Moorcox. Yeah. So we'll dig into what we require for the items. Let's just make this, 25 life science to start us off. And we'll paste that all the way down here. And, no, Eric, we are just walking people through how to make something. This is not something that is even going to be available. This is a how you would do something in the GDE. This is not, we are not making an actual item. We are just showing people how. Okay, so in order for us to get this into the GDE, we need to make sure that some of the stuff it's going to be looking at actually exists. So if we want to make potable water, we actually need to make a loot table. So we're going to head to our game data editor. We're going to head to loot tables. And we're going to make a loot table that specifically outputs potable water. So we're going to make a new loot table once we're in the loot table category. It's going to pop up a whole bunch of stuff and options. And we're just going to name this the potable water loot tables. This is what it outputs when we do it. And we're going to add a bunch of stuff in here. So first item we want it to give us is potable water. Well, but Disdent, we're on a sandbox environment when we're inviting people to start making things. And the devs will review what people make. People won't be invited if they're not, building appropriate and useful things that might actually be able to be used. It's a quick way to get your access revoked to to coming and trying things. So let's say we want to output some potable water, and because we don't have any idea of like what value we're going to use for it or how it's going to be used or anything like that, let's just go look at the current filter water tasks. And let's just make these in line with this. Oh, right, Cricket ran away from us. We'll hide her webcam there. So in these filter water tasks, we are giving 15 to 18 at the base level. So let's just stick to that same thing. 15 to 18 water after we finish. So we'll give 15 to 18 potable water. What some of these things on the bottom mean are if you want to, say, give additional items with different chances, you could say we have a 50% chance of getting 15 to 18, or a 50% chance of getting 18 to 25. So maybe you have a not as good filter, or maybe you have a much better filter on the day that you do it. So this is how you would split these up. Right now we just want 100% weight. What we do want is a second thing. So this group determines if they're going to be one or the other, or if you're going to get each thing from each group. So all your groupings roll in amongst themselves. If you leave it at 100, it's the same as doing 50-50. If these numbers are the same across each thing, everything has an even chance. If you want, like, a bunch of different things with different weights, that's how you do, 10, 20, 50, something that adds up to 100, right? But the other thing that we want to include is experience. So whenever we're looking at a loot table that's giving us some item, we want to include experience as part of the output. So because our task over here is taking the life science skill, and we're requiring life science to do it, we want to give people life science experience for filtering this water. So what we're going to do to give people specific experience is the @ symbol, because all the experience loot tables are in this loot table section. To reference something in this same section, we need this @ symbol first. So we'll use the @ symbol, and we'll say life science. So the first thing we start with is the type, the skill itself that we want to grant the experience. We'll do _XP, _. The last thing we're including here is going to be a number. Yeah, we don't use... There's no half items, right? So we do the skill, _XP, _, and we're going to choose a number that is roughly the level of the skill that we're using in multiples of 10. So we can do 10 or 20 or 30. So because the skill that we're requiring for this task is going to be 25 life science skill, we're going to start with life science XP 20. We're going to say give us 1 roll of that loot table for experience. And we're going to leave it at 100 weight. So we'll save this loot table. This is what we want to output when people are filtering and making potable water. Something to get in the habit of checking. So making the item, there's not really anything to double check. But when you make a new loot table, you want to simulate this loot table and roll it, say, 10 times, and it will show you what it's outputting. So we get a bunch of water, and we get some life science experience. Spend 100 ice to get 50 water, not spend 100 ice to get 25 to 50 water. Well, you can either do a range, or you could put the same number on both sides if you want to give the exact amount, yeah. But if we want to look at one count of this, we can see getting our water, getting our life science, and at level 25, it looks like we're outputting, is this 10 to 24 experience? Which feels pretty okay, I think, for the task that we have. And if we want to compare and, like, check if that's reasonable, we can actually go back over here. We can look at our regular filter water task and mostly what we're trying to compare to. And we could say 14 to 42 is what we're outputting here. So it might actually be another step up. But I think our task is perfectly reasonable for the amount of XP that we're giving there. That's fine. So we'll head back over and we'll say, yep, this loot table looks good. We think it's balanced pretty reasonably. We're going to move on to our next thing. Excuse me. So our next thing is going to be having these inputs all set up. So if we're filtering our generic water that we have on Mars into filtered water, excuse me, and we can see we are we're giving 15 to 18, and let's say this first task is not very efficient, and we're only getting about you know, less than, we'll put in 50 water and we're getting 15 to 18 back. So what we'll do here is say we're taking water, and this is at all building levels. This task will be the same. We're going to use 50 water to get that 15 to 20 water outputted. Yeah. This is not expected to become a real task. We're not doing too much balance here. We're showing how you would find the things to balance them if you want. And we're just talking about where you would plug things in and how you would do it. This is not a real task. This is not a fine-tuned balance in depth, making sure everything looks really good. We're just showing where you would find stuff, how you can start doing these things yourself, and where you can plug in all the stuff to get them going. So we've got our water inputs here. We've got our potable water output, sorry. And we have it by building level. If you wanted to do something like, hey, if your building's at a max level, we can actually have it take a little bit less water. Oops, that's our... this is our say we have it take 40 at the max level, 40 at the max level here, 40 at max level here, and here, and level 1 has to go back to 50 because the rest are all looking at that, and 40 for here, oops, nope, here, yep, and 50 and 40. And there we go. So now each of those max level tasks just uses 10 less water in order to do the task. So encouraging people to level up their buildings, we can do little bits and pieces like that. You can already see we scaled our times based on the building level as well. You can do a lot of different things. So this is indicating the building levels on the side. This is us restricting by building level. We could say, if you max it out, that like maybe you don't need to have as high a life science level in order to do that skill at max level. So lots of different things you can play around with in here. Lots of different ways you can set stuff up. Hey, Zate, welcome, welcome. So yeah, we could flip through the same thing. We could say all these max level ones also require less life science if you level up your building all the way. So... hey, Jeff, welcome. We're just talking about how to use the GDE today and pointing out, like, you know, a bunch of different things that we could mess around with in here. So we could change all these. We could say at max level building, we make these things more efficient. That's all fine. So we do all these things. We make all the changes. You can adjust, like, your inputs, your building levels, your skill level. Your inputs, to find the name of the input, you're going to need to go to the items in the GDE and find the item ID of the thing that you want to input. So we know water is called water, and that's what we're using for our specific task. But the main thing is that we don't want to assume that we know the name of something. So if we want to go find, like, so we have the green, you know, it's electronics. We put it into all of our things. It's like something parts. Like, type in chat what you think that item is called. It's the green microchips, and we use it in stuff. Let's see who gets the exact name, because it can be, you know, the item ID, the other things, everything could be anything in the background. What is that item called? Any thoughts? Hey, Zate, we're about 40 minutes in. The name or the ID? Yeah, so, I mean, they're going to be... I mean, the name is fine, but... circuit components. So this is what we were... some parts. This is what we want to make sure is the exact wording, right? It's not electronic part. It's not electronics part. Or electronic parts. Both electronics and parts. So we need to make sure this ID... is exactly what we're putting in this input column for us to use it in this task. And so, let's just take all this stuff and move it over one column. Whoops. Take all this stuff, move it over one column. So where you put stuff matters. So you know how generally when you look at a task, it's got all of the all the resources listed first. And then say signets and something. So the order that these inputs are in are the order that they appear in the list of requirements. Oscar, what is the purpose of all this? Please help. So this is a little aside for some pretty high-level players who want to help make content for Million on Mars. We have the tools available to allow people to do exactly what we're showing on screen here. And higher level players who've been around for a while who want some walkthrough on how to do exactly what we're doing, that's what we're showcasing today. So let's say we want 1 electronics parts. We'll just include 1 as a requirement, and we'll put it across the board for all these things. But at the highest level, or let's say we generally need 2 for most of these, and we don't need it at the highest level. So we require 1 less electronic parts. Really encouraging people to fully level up their buildings if they want to be filtering potable water. I'll nail it one day. Okay, so we're happy with our recipe. We've done everything and things look good and we like the way things are. We don't want to copy these off of the template off to the right-hand side. Those are just for helping us name all these recipes and categories the right way. So what we want to do is select the entire sheet along these headers. So basically from that blue cell on the top corner all the way over to this bottom left corner. The way these templates are set up, they're pretty helpful. If you click anywhere on these headers and you select all, so Control A on a PC, it'll actually select everything under those headers for you. It'll do exactly what we're trying to do. So we select all this stuff and we copy. Now we're ready to move into the GDE and start working on our recipes that we made in here. So we'll head over to recipes and we'll hit these 3 dots here and we'll hit paste. We're unable to parse our data. Interesting. Okay, so we have made a mistake somewhere along the way. We've selected something, we've done something wrong. Do we have too many categories? Well, this is an issue. We've put some stuff in the wrong place. That would do it. Yes, we did generate our loot table already. So we did take a little aside and we talked about that. So you will get that error if this loot table does not exist already. Oh, you know what? Did we not save it? No, we did. Okay. Our loot table here, we can see we created our potable water loot table. It does exist. Did our item disappear? Where'd our potable water item? Oh, yes. Yeah. It'll ignore columns. Yeah, the best thing for learning more about all that as well is to hop into those GDE channels and ask your questions over there. This does exist. It has been saved. Oh, it requires a dusk price. Maybe that's why it hasn't popped up over here. Alright, we'll say it's worth 1. Sure. It's a magical made-up item that doesn't really exist, so we're not going to worry too much about all that. There we go. Our item's updated. Our item's ready to go. So we're going to come back over here. We're going to take our whole sheet. We're going to make our way over to recipes, and we're going to try and import again. Alright. Pasting in here. We don't have a different data type, though. Interesting. Our categories look fine. Our duration. Outputs, recipients, inputs, and quantities. Take our headers. Go to this corner. Copy all the things. Paste them in here. Huh. Alright, well, we may have to play around with that a little bit. One of the ways to look at a category to figure out if your headers match appropriately, which is the next thing that we're going to do here when we're not importing, is copying fields. So we hit copy fields and we can head over to our sheet. And we can see if the headers that we're using match the headers here. This one's just offset by 1. So we have this sound ID that would be over here. This pick column will be ignored. That's why it's in orange. Yeah, distant, we're just not really getting that far. Bring potable energy drinks? Yeah. So, sort group is just over here. Sort order is off by 1, 1, 1. Can hire. Requirements are here. When hide keywords. Outputs look good. Outputs and conditions are all fine. Recipient we have here. And we have any number of inputs. And we don't need these last ones. They're not mandatory. Okay. Interesting. We should be working here. And it should also be smart enough to ignore, like, even the extra columns on the end, so that shouldn't really be an issue. Alright. Well, we might have to revisit importing our recipes here. Maybe we're missing level requirements on the building. You mean because these inputs are here... Level requirements on the buildings. I think we're good. No. It might not be happy about this. Like, we might have to actually just move all of this over here. Maybe that's the issue? No. Input 3 empty and 4? Yeah. Thought that might have been the problem. What we could do as well is just put the building level all the way down here and just say it's 1 for all of these other ones. Maybe having full columns on both inputs is a thing that needs to exist. No. Interesting. Or we copy all from here and paste in. Huh. Well, it's funny. We've been showcasing this exact thing for, I think, 2 days now, and having 0 issues with this exact step. So, a little strange that we're running into some issues now. I don't think it's any of these. These are all fine, our input names themselves. It's going to probably be something with the headers that we don't really understand. Our loot table does exist, right? Or did we maybe name it something? I think we copied straight from here, though. So the other thing to check, we could go to our loot table. Yes, yeah, that would be cool. Obviously some future developments that could come along. But it does seem like our loot table... yeah, our loot table name matches. But it does seem like it's not appearing over here. Which is a bit of an issue. We copied this exact loot table, we saved. We know that this is what's going to get saved over here. But it seems like it's only remembering like the most recent thing that we're working on and not showing everything. So maybe we're having some issues with saving right now. What we could do is reload the GDE. That's another possibility. But this is basically our last step. So we will reload the page. We'll see if we can figure things out that way. But yes, this is basically your last step. Once you import this with these recipes and that loot table existing, this will appear in the building. You will have that recipe available to create potable water in your water filter. Sort group is another column that we could mess with. When we put things in here, it will, you know, your categories that you see in the building. Yeah, of course, Moorcox. We can share, copy, yes. If you have the link, you can view. There you go. You can dig around in there and see if you can figure out what's going on. Thank you kindly. So yeah, other stuff we can work on in here, sort group. So when we go to a building and we can see, say in our greenhouse, for example, we have general, apprentice tool, building kit. These different categories are the sort groups. So it makes more sense in a building with a lot of different tasks, such as your engineering bay here. If you don't put anything in that column, it will be put in the general category. And if you name it something else, it will land in that named category. Ah, thorium reactor kit is in here as well. That's cool. So for example, if we head back over here and we add in, say, filter to each of these categories, it will make a named category in the water filter named filter. So that one's easy enough to figure out as well. Some of these other ones we don't really use too much. So we have, these are more for back-end stuff. This gets a little more complicated to talk about some of these other ones. Sort order is an easy one to talk about. So if we have all of our sort groups and we want them in not just alphabetical order, but we want them specifically, like we want all the filtering tasks on top and then all the tools tasks on the bottom, we just give them numbers, and the lowest number goes at the top, so 1 is at the very top, and 7 goes at the very bottom, and everything else would sort itself in between based on that order number. It's possible that we need to say 1 for our, to make the loot table exist, but this has never been an issue in the past. But we could give that a quick try. Reload the GDE. It might be an issue in the GDE itself where our keywords are okay. Yep, our keywords look good. So our keywords just need to have skill, the skill that we're using that is associated with that task. The keywords are important for things like making them work with specific achievements. Anything, basically, if we have something where we want to say, hey, anything that causes or has to do with life science, we want to look at that keyword. It's going to be something to do with the headers, because that's why it's not importing, but we're not going to worry too much about it for now. We're going to make sure that all of our items are actually popping up in our GDE. Oh, that's a bright one. All right. There we go. So we got our potable water there. We've got our, that's our loot table and our item. We're just trying to verify that both things exist and have been saved in here properly. Because we do have this item and we do have this loot table. Those are the things that need to exist for us to import that recipe. Because we can't output the loot table if the loot table doesn't exist, so it would frown upon that. And we can't do anything with the item if the item doesn't exist. Alright. Removing our output 1 entries. You mean these? I mean, we just put those back in. It doesn't care. But we'll try again. So with or without those, it doesn't really matter. But that's the gist of it. So once you get to this step and you import these, you can get them into a spot. What if we just copy a single one? Are we gonna have any issues with that? Oh, there we go. Marked as hireable, but does not consume stamina. Of course! Of course this is an issue. Alright, so here's what we found it. Okay, so basically we're trying to duration line 11, there's a dot there. Sure. Oh, these commas? Those commas don't matter, but thank you. Okay, so we've made a task where we forgot to include stamina. And power, actually, now that I think about it. So we'll take all these things, we'll move them over a couple columns, and we will put in some power and stamina, because you're not going to be able to import a recipe if you say, yes, we can hire someone for that job, and it has no stamina requirement. So stamina in the back end is called energy. Wow, all in caps. Energy. So what we want to do is say, 1 energy, 1 stamina for all these things. That's fine. We also need to use power storage. So this actually uses power from the building that the task is in. And we want to use, say, 20 power to do this task. Now, hopefully, when we do this and we go to import, should be okay. Nope, still running into some issues. Okay, but if we just do 1 and 2, we're going to get the same error that we had before. Nope, 1 and 2 are working just fine. So we've broken... Maybe that comma does matter. We'll give it a try. I don't think so, because it's not appearing here. But we'll clear formatting. Format. Clear formatting. Yep. And display as a number. Oh boy. Display as a number with not these. And this here. There we go. Paste all the way down. It might care about that. I don't know. Plain text might have worked as well. Yep. Alright, and we'll head over here. We'll paste it in. Wow. Alright. Okay, so we are cranky about using commas in our numbers. Do not put commas in our numbers. The GDE does not like it. Good call out, ML Villaboss. Good job. Okay. So, we've successfully done all these filter potable water. We will save them, adding them into the GDE. These are all new recipes, and they will exist and be in there and ready to go. Yep, we'll give you something out of a pack that we opened today. For sure. Yep, just the format. So the format really does not like commas. We'll make sure we let somebody know. So, because we said we've got all of our stuff in here and everything's ready to go, something we absolutely want to check once we have all these recipes in here is hitting the preview button to check that the recipe is inputting and outputting exactly what we're looking for. So we're going to hit preview. We can see filter potable water. We're filtering water into drinking water. We're using that one electronic part because we're actually looking at the M5 task. You can kind of see it in the background there, but this is a Mythic level 5. And at Mythic level 5, we need our building level to be 1. We're looking at the task not in a building, so we don't have this. We need a life science level, some power in our building, and some other things. And we're outputting 10 to 24 life science and a little bit of potable water. This is now ready to go and put into Mars. And so hopefully that hour has been relatively helpful. Creating an item, showing how you set up your recipes, how you import them, how you get everything ready to go. And this... So we haven't really put it anywhere else. It's not really done anywhere. We'll probably be on the Discord talking about basically the same stuff in a more casual setting later on. And this isn't used anywhere, right? We're now just making an item that we're not really plugging in anywhere else. But super useful. The basics. Many new tasks waiting for us on March 15th. I can't talk about that, of course. I could talk about what I have been working on and showing people. Gen 3 hatcheries were what I was working on yesterday. And then you saw some of the stuff I was working on in that post that Mitch sent everything live the other day. But yeah, so that's everything I have to show you for today. How to make an item, how to make the recipes in a sheet, how to import them. If we wanted to adjust some things, we could do that as well. Like, say we want to move this from the water filter to a different building. We could type in filter potable water. And we select all 39 recipes that we imported. So we have 39 recipes selected. We hit compare. So this is how we do bulk editing on a task. It is very, very important that you don't edit categories that have different items in them. So for example, in our inputs, we know at max level, we're actually using less water and less energy, so we cannot bulk edit the inputs or we will break everything. When we do a bulk edit, it overwrites that entire category to match the new edit. So we wouldn't be able to edit duration because these are different durations. We would need to select all the same thing that have the same thing. So in that way, you can see we're not able to adjust the building in here because all these buildings require different categories on the end, right? Because all these, we'd edit all of these and they'd all end up in like C1. So we can't do it here. We could change the name of all of these because the name is all the same. We could change the description in here. So the description, if you see a description of an item that has like some incorrect grammar, really easy to come in here and change it. We're just excited about filtering water. We're going to change that to an exclamation mark, and it changes everything across the board. So this is how we do bulk edits in the GDE, as long as the category has the exact same thing all the way down. So we could also change, for example, keywords, if the keywords are all the same, or the sort group, if we need to change the header for the thing within the building, we could change that. And a few other categories. If the duration is the same across all tasks, you could adjust that in here. Yeah, just a couple examples. So because we need to change those categories, and we know we can't do it in the bulk editor because they have different tags on the end there, we know that we're going to have to do it in our Google Sheet instead. Yeah, let it do its thing. Sometimes it'll just take a little while to do what it's doing. It'll pop up. It'll tell you, hey, it's like chugging along. Just let it go. It just takes a minute. So we're going to change in here. Say we, instead of doing our potable water in the water filter, we want to do it in the, I don't know, in the machine shop. So the machine shop I already know is machine underscore, so that's fine. But you could go find a task that is in there and you'd be able to change the item. So say we're putting it in the machine shop and we put it all the way down here. We select our whole sheet and we head back to the GDE. We can see we have that exclamation mark now across the board on all of our tasks. So it's saying it's successfully updated all those categories for us. Once we have our... Yep, that's fine. Once we have all those changes made in our sheet, and we come back over here to recipes, and we paste it in here, we can see we have changed all of our recipes. And if we scroll down, we can see why. Because we made that exclamation mark change, it's going to try and change it back. So we can see exclamation mark equals, here's what's different. We're changing it back into filter water into drinking water with the period, because that's what was on our sheet. We can see our category would be changing from water filter to this, and then it just tells us references for where all those things are happening. Yeah, tournaments we can also do in here, but we're going to have to come to those later. So, yeah, if we want to change all that, we could do it in here, and we could hit save, and we could update all those. But we don't want to move it to the machine shop. We know this is something that would be in the water filter, so we'll just leave it for now. And I think we're going to call it a day there. This was what? Water filter, water underscore filter. There we go. Okay, so that's our GDE walkthrough for today and just some of the stuff that we were working on. So we will hop over to here and open some stuff up and give some stuff away. So we definitely have a couple lock boxes to pop open, so we can do some of those right away. Oh yeah, we of course we got to roll on Rusty. It's gonna be the one day we didn't spend all day clicking the button. We just get it. Yeah, okay. Oh, are the hatcheries in here? I don't think they're in here yet, right? We have, so if we go to open this guy, scroll to the bottom, we can get the recipe for composters, though. Composters are in here now. So that would be cool. Maybe we could learn to make expert composters. Recipe for gold packs, epic composters in here. Yeah, let's get that. Or epic thorium reactors, engineering bay, lots of cool stuff in there. All right, let's pop this guy open. Give me all the new stuff. Give me the epic expert fabrication tools. That's not a bad one. I think those are needed for like a bunch of aerospace things, so that's pretty cool. Aluminum lockbox next. Will there be weather mechanics? I am not sure on that one. That's not my wheelhouse right now, at least. Maybe in the future. All right, aluminum lockbox. Hopefully, artisan aerospace tools. That sounds pretty rad. We get 45 legendary fuel tank shards. Does anyone have legendary fuel tanks kicking around? Alright, titanium, do your thing. What can we get? Yeah, give me that obsidian composter pack. Yeah, Moorcox, that's some naming things on my part. They do what they do. It was because there wasn't an original one, and so there was never an original composter pack, right? So Gen 3 was missed because there wasn't an original that it had to not conflict with. Anyway, we'll open this titanium one. Give me the obsidian composter pack. Yes, excellent, please. Expert robotics tools. I feel like I have most expert tools by now. I've been opening so many. Yes, anyone with access to the GDE can make quick name fixes on those things, no problem. Yeah, there you go, Moorcox Pneumatic, everyone jumping on it like, hey, I know how to fix that. Awesome, okay. So, we will go double check what we have already. Looks like, oh, we could open and give away a composter pack. Alright, sounds good to me. These silver packs are just the regular breakdown. So out of this silver pack, we will give away whatever composter we get. We'll open all three and we'll give away the best composter that we hit. It's going to be both pneumatic, gold composter and obsidian composter. Pack, recipe, knowledge, epic. Just dig through all of those. They're all going to need some changing. Yeah, let's open all three. I mean, that's a pretty good start. But can we do better? Maybe we could do better. Alright. What else can we give away? That was a 6%. I think we can do better than 6%. I think we can hit 2 or a 0.5, right? We can probably get there. Okay, common, yeah. No, we're just getting that one out of the way so that this one can be, like, the top of the biggest thing. Guys, I don't even know anymore. Oh god, why? Jesus is so lucky. Why is he's just like the luckiest person? Oh man. Yeah, take this epic trash one off my hands. When do we get access to this streamer client? Oh man, that's funny. Oh, the thing to it is so good too. That's so funny. We're just oh man. Oh, that kills me. We're not that lucky. We're giving it away. Yeah, it's fine. Well, we do what we do. I mean, the moment is the thing that's the biggest win, right? I did the thing on stream. It's a ton of fun. That's worth more than me. I'll just break a mythic composter. I don't... Where's my things? Like, I don't look after my composters. These things have been sitting idle down here for so long. Where are they? Yeah, look at that 0 bio waste and basically doing nothing. I'm not someone who has the patience to look after my composters. Oh, man, that's funny. Alright, we will be giving away a mythic composter. And it's just for the people who are tuned in right now. Mythic composter. You got 1 minute to get your name in. Just whoever's tuned in, go! ! Raffle puts your name in the draw. You do have to be following the channel in order to have a chance to win. Alrighty. Oh, and it's a day when Match happens to be tuned in, too? What a lucky guy. Ooh. ! Raffle. Follow the channel if you want a chance to win. Yeah, of course. Of course we give stuff away. It only cost me the pack. It didn't cost me anything. Oh man, that's funny. Dragon's Valley 69. There's a good call out. That's an old one. All right. Here we go. Just getting in time. Best of luck to everybody. Thank you for tuning in for our GDE stream today, and we'll be giving away a Mythic Composter to Thurs. Hey, congratulations, Thurs. I may have smacked my mic in my excitement and unplugged it there for a second. Alright, Thurs, drop your wax address in the chat so we can get that sent your way. Nope, so the way that we do our giveaways here, because we happen to be the company itself and admin things, they'll just take it out of my inventory and they'll grant it to, Thurs. So, that's how that stuff happens on our end. Alrighty. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This, of course, will be up on the YouTube later on, and you can always review it if you want some walkthroughs on how the GDE works and what's going on over there. Otherwise, I'll probably catch some people around the Discord here in a little bit. And I hope you all have a fantastic weekend and an excellent rest of your Friday. And, of course, we'll catch you all next week. Yep. We'll see you all over in the GDE Discord chat moments from now. Later.